Right now, Snapchat and every other big tech platform have exactly zero accountability. Zilch. This is on their platform. It is there constantly. It is there in volume, and there is currently nothing any parent, any victim can do about it. I mean, just refer back to what this mother said the Snap CEO said to her. It's your fault. We don't really have any idea about it. This is after she told them it was on their platform. And by the way, they know. I mean, if these guys can direct the most precision advertising to you using their AI algorithms, you think they don't know that there's this kind of advertising all over their platform? They know. And then they said, the get out of jail free card, you can't sue us because we're protected under Section 230. I've said this time and time again. It is time for this Congress to take action to allow victims to hold accountable these companies when they put this kind of garbage, this sort of illegal activity on their platform. Fentanyl's been a major topic of discussion today, rightfully so. Fentanyl accounts for 70% of the drug overdose deaths in the United States. It's the leading cause of death, fentanyl is, in my state, the state of Missouri, for individuals over the age of 18. And we don't produce it in Missouri. It comes to us from across the border. It comes by the truckload, it seems, these days. Every community in the state, every school in the state is awash in fentanyl. And what I'm particularly concerned about are the latest efforts of cartels to send rainbow fentanyl into our borders, across our borders. I'm sure, Mr. Perez, you're familiar with this, the phenomenon of rainbow fentanyl, which is made to look like a candy. In fact, obviously, it's an extremely deadly drug.
Yes, sir, generally familiar with it.
Is it safe to say that the Mexican cartels are using rainbow fentanyl as a deliberate attempt to drive addiction among young people, among kids and young adults?
Yes, sir. I would say they're using fentanyl in general, regardless of who they're trying to addict. Yes, sir.
So here's the next thing that concerns me is that we've got the effort by the cartels to use rainbow fentanyl. We've got the effort by the cartels to target kids, and they're doing it more than they're selling it in ways other than just the classic back alley deal. They're using now social media apps in order to sell fentanyl. Let's take a look here at one example. This is from the big tech platform Snapchat. Snapchat's one of the worst offenders here. The Snapchat's platform, as you may know, features disappearing messages, anonymity. It also has real-time mapping features that make it easy for drug traffickers to access clients and especially young people. Snaps are often accompanied by code words and emojis that are designed to evade detection by law enforcement. In February of this year, a mother, Bridget Noring, sat where the three of you are sitting and testified. She lost her child, by the way, her 19-year-old kid, lost him to a fentanyl overdose after he got fentanyl through a Snap message. And she testified, sitting where you're sitting, that she went to Snapchat. She alerted them to the kind of snaps that they have got that are posted on their platform. And she testified, here, this is the quote now, the first three things out of their mouth, meaning the Snap CEOs, were, number one, we have no idea this is happening on our platform. Number two, as parents, you should have been monitoring your child better. Charming. Number three, you can't sue us because we're protected under Section 230. Now, my question to the three of you is, wouldn't it be a big help to your efforts and to our efforts as a country to stop the flow of fentanyl and other illegal drugs into this nation and from flowing into the hands of our kids if we shut down these platforms from selling and offering drugs and being a major platform for drug traffickers? Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir. I would go back to about accountability from any institution that's facilitating this. I know our efforts through the J Code, which I mentioned earlier, focusing on darknet and opennet type of trafficking, that's significant. We spend a lot of efforts on those types of cases.
Yeah, very good. I'm glad you used the word accountability. I think that's exactly what we need. And right now, I just want to point this out so everybody understands it. Right now, Snapchat and every other big tech platform have exactly zero accountability. Zilch. This is on their platform. It is there constantly. It is there in volume, and there is currently nothing any parent, any victim can do about it. I mean, just refer back to what this mother said the Snap CEO said to her. It's your fault. We don't really have any idea about it. This is after she told them it was on their platform. And by the way, they know. I mean, if these guys can direct the most precision advertising to you using their AI algorithms, you think they don't know that there's this kind of advertising all over their platform? They know. And then they said, the get out of jail free card, you can't sue us because we're protected under Section 230. I've said this time and time again. It is time for this Congress to take action to allow victims to hold accountable these companies when they put this kind of garbage, this sort of illegal activity on their platform. Victims ought to be able to sue Snapchat and any other big tech platform that traffics in this kind of illegal activity. And until Congress changes the law to allow victims and parents to sue, I think that this is just going to continue to go on. Let me give you one more example. Mr. Stevens, I'll direct this to you since I know that you're in the El Paso division. Here is an example of a Mexican cartel using a different social media app to try and hire American citizens to participate in human smuggling. So this is the kind of thing that's going on Snap, on Instagram, on TikTok, where these cartels are recruiting American citizens to come be smugglers, offering them pay, giving them instructions. And once again, they are using these social media apps, these big tech platforms to do it. Let me just ask you, Mr. Stevens, have you encountered this? Have you seen the cartels trying to recruit Americans to participate in their smuggling operations?
Thank you for your question, sir. Yes, we have multiple cases involving human smuggling as well as drug smuggling where they use those social media platforms to be able to recruit drivers.
Wouldn't it be a help to you in your law enforcement activities to be able to turn off this kind of illegal activity on these platforms? In other words, to reduce the supply of American drivers who are willing to participate in a human smuggling ring?
Yes, it would, sir.
We need to do it. And the way to do it is to hold these social media companies accountable, to use your word, Mr. Perez, to allow victims to sue the social media companies for violating the law, for violating basic human decency, for lying constantly to their customers and the American people. I've already introduced legislation that's passed this committee unanimously to allow victims of child pornography to sue the platforms. And I can tell you the next step is to allow victims of human trafficking, victims of this kind of illegal trafficking in narcotics to sue the platforms. If we can do that, I think we can begin to make a dent in this tidal wave of fentanyl and other narcotics coming across our border, and I think we can begin to hold these social media companies accountable. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.